The re-election of Donald Trump in 2024 has prompted several high-profile celebrities to threaten to pack their bags and leave the United States. Now, people are taking notice about this and they aren't very happy. So in this video, I'll share with you who's going where, how they're allowed to stay in these foreign countries, and also address some of the criticism and backlash that they've received from the public. If this is the first time we're meeting, my name is Kristin Wilson. I'm an international relocation consultant and the author of Moving Abroad for Dummies. Let's start off with Elon and Portia de Rossi, who have reportedly left for their new home in the Cotswolds in southwestern England. Now, this is a very beautiful region to live in where they could have a lot of celebrity neighbors, including British celebrities such as David and Victoria Beckham, Lily Allen, and Kate Moss. But what concerns me about this statement is that it's very difficult to get residency in the United Kingdom if you're not studying, working, or if you don't have familial ties. So I really wonder how Elon and Portia are able to live in the UK, and I wonder if they're not just staying there temporarily instead. Now, as US passport holders, they can stay there for up to 180 days per year with just their passports, but to get anything beyond that, they'll need to have some type of residency permit. The most logical visa for them would have been the UK's Tier 1 investor visa, but that was discontinued in 2022 after the Russian invasion of Ukraine. So this is something that's actually quite risky for celebrities to claim to move to another country without actually having legal status to reside there. And this can be really problematic because being a wealthy, famous celebrity doesn't guarantee that you can just go and move to another country. And I think this is where a lot of the pushback is coming from the general public, who are saying, wait a second, just because you have all of this privilege doesn't mean you can just move to another country. But if that is the case, then the responsible thing for them to do would be to say, hey, we're going to be spending 6 months a year at our home in the UK, and the rest of the year we'll be traveling or we'll be in these other countries. But to say that after election night they up and moved from LA to the UK is a little bit misleading. Eva Longoria is another celebrity who quickly left the US after the election. She's reportedly spending her time between Mexico and Spain with her husband and children. And this is a little bit of a different situation compared to moving to the UK, because US passport holders going to Mexico can stay for up to 180 days at a time, although this has also gotten stricter in recent years, so it's not by no means guaranteed if you get to the Mexican border or show up at the airport and say you want to stay there for 6 months. But theoretically, Eva and her family could stay in Mexico for 6 months, then they could go to Spain for up to 90 days, as Spain is a country in the European Schengen area, and then they could go back to Mexico. So it is possible to live or stay in these countries for an extended period of time without necessarily having a residence permit, although with the money that Eva has, she could get a golden visa in Spain with a real estate investment of at least 500,000 euro. But if she wants to get that one, she'll have to act fast because that visa is set to expire next year. Actress Sharon Stone has also expressed intentions to move to Europe, specifically considering a home in Italy. Now, there are plenty of ways to move to Italy, and you don't have to be a celebrity to do so. One of the first options that comes to mind when I think about Sharon Stone is potentially Italy's elective residence visa. Now, this was created for retirees who are on a fixed income, so I don't think that Sharon Stone would have any kind of problems proving that she has enough financial solvency to live there. But another option for her could be Italy's golden visa. And like many other countries, such as Spain and Portugal, Italy used to have a real estate category of its golden visa, but it was discontinued for a lot of different reasons that are very controversial in and of themselves, but there are still a few paths to be able to buy into residency there through investing in a company or business or another type of improved investment option, such as a €1 million philanthropic donation. Now, another visa that could work for Sharon Stone is the skilled worker visa, although the authorities would have to determine if being a celebrity or an actress is enough to qualify for that. The music icon Cher has also been very vocal about her plans to leave the US if Trump got reelected. Cher has a transgender son and has also shared her concerns about what a second Trump term might look like. She actually said that she almost got an ulcer during the first term, and if he were to get reelected, she wouldn't just leave the country, she would leave the planet. Yes, Cher posted on X that she would move to Jupiter if there were a Trump term, and while we don't have the technology yet to move people to Jupiter or even Mars for that matter, there are quite a few countries that I think Cher might like to go to. Europe would be one destination where a lot of the countries are known for having very progressive social policies, equal rights, and also very safe. She could go somewhere in Northern Europe, maybe Scandinavia. France could be an interesting option, or places like Switzerland, where she'd have a lot of peace and quiet to be able to create her music in the beautiful natural surroundings. New Zealand could also be a good option for that as well. Cher's father is Armenian, so another option for her would be to apply for citizenship by descent in Armenia. So if you're thinking of leaving the country and you want to move somewhere else, then a good tip is to always check to see if you have a parent, grandparent, or even great-grandparent in some cases that would help you qualify for citizenship there. Another high-profile person who has shared her intention to leave the country is actually Elon Musk's estranged daughter, Vivian Wilson. She posted on Threads after the election that she has thought about this for a while, but she doesn't see her future being in the United States. Now, this comment was met with about equal parts of encouragement and also discouragement and attacks there. So pretty characteristic of the sides being split about 50-50 on opinion in the United States. But this brings me to something that I wanted to talk about regarding the criticism of celebrities who have said that they want to leave the country. There's actually been a lot of celebrities like Miley Cyrus, Amy Schumer, Whoopi Goldberg, and even Bryan Cranston who have once said they were going to leave the US and then walked those claims back or changed their minds or said that they were joking after facing a lot of public criticism. And I think there are a few different things from reading the comments on these Threads posts and Instagram posts and news articles and YouTube videos that people are upset about. And the first is just having the privilege to be able to leave whenever things get tough. So on one hand, we have the financial privilege that people are saying, okay, just because you're a celebrity with a lot of money, you think you can just leave whenever things get difficult. And that's partially true. I mean, people that have a lot of financial means do have a lot of additional opportunities that other people don't have. So there's plenty of people living in the United States that might want to move to other countries, if not for political reasons, for other reasons, for lifestyle, quality of life, cost of living, whatever it is. But there are explicitly residency categories in most countries that are basically pay for play. If you have enough money and you want to invest in a business, invest in real estate, donate it to the government, you can get residency or citizenship in exchange. Now, a lot of these are known as golden visas, and that's for a reason. So if celebrities have 6-7 figures lying around that they can invest in getting permission to stay in a country, then they can certainly do that. Now, is this right or wrong? I'm not here to judge, but we are living in a society that is really based on an archaic system when it comes to the strength of your passport, how many countries you can move to, and also a golden visa system that saw a boom for a couple of decades and now is going away because of people misusing the system, because of adverse effects on the economies and the local people where these golden visas are available. And I think we'll still see certain countries, especially island nations that are using these types of visas to build their economies in the Caribbean, in Africa, and in the Mediterranean. But in general, I think that this concept is going to be phased out to some extent in the future. Another thing people have said is, okay, if you want to leave the country, why not just renounce your citizenship? And this is a bigger topic because it's one thing to vote with your feet and go to another place, but it's quite another to sever all ties with that country where you were born and raised. And this is a really big decision that I don't think people take lightly in the United States. There's only a few thousand people per year who renounce their citizenship. So out of hundreds of millions of people, that's a very small percentage. Now that percentage has been increasing in recent years, but I don't think it's fair to say to someone who wants to live in another country that they should have to renounce their citizenship if they do so. Now, it is possible in some countries if you want to get a second citizenship that you would need to renounce, but in most cases, most countries actually allow you to hold dual citizenship or even 3 citizenships. Now, there have, of course, been a few conspiracy theories floating around of people asking publicly, well, are these celebrities trying to run from something else? Are they running from the law? And as far as I know, all of that is unfounded, but people have been commenting things about, workplace allegations that Ellen DeGeneres had and a few other things. So I guess that's to be expected in this time of conspiracy theories and psyops, but it is what it is. Then there's actually the philosophical question here of, is it right to leave your country when things get hard? Should you just run away from these problems or should you stay and fight? And to be quite honest, this is a question that I've struggled with for a really long time, having spent upwards of 20 years of my life in foreign countries. I've often asked myself, if there's something happening in the United States that I don't like, should I go back and be an activist for these causes, or should I just enjoy my life in other places? And I still don't know the right answer to that. I think it really depends on each person. I recently talked to a long-term political strategist who was independently wealthy but volunteered for decades with her party, and I won't say which one it was, and she said that after 20 years of doing that, of working for free, she just felt like she wanted to enjoy her remaining years of life, and she just wanted to have a nice time and live in other countries and travel and be with her family. So you can't really fault anyone for wanting to have a good quality of life, especially if you're retirement age and you've worked your whole life. It's like very exhausting to think about also changing the world, changing your country, and having an influence on the political direction of your country if you don't have that many years left to enjoy your life. So I don't know what the right answer is here, but I do think that if you have left your country, with the internet and technology that we have today, there's a lot of ways that you can still be active and you can still contribute to causes that you care about without physically being there. This is the age of remote work and digital nomads, so you can contribute financially to different causes. You can use software to call people instead of knocking on doors and make political phone calls. You can start your own organization. There's nothing holding you back from doing that. And you can also vote from abroad. And I will link to video here and in the description of how exactly you can do that, and also the impact that US citizens living abroad would have if we voted in the US elections. But I'd like to hear from you. Do you think that celebrities should stay in the US and fight for change, or is it okay if they leave? Comment below, and if you're not a wealthy celebrity, then watch this video next to find out where normal middle-class Americans are moving abroad.